another installment of our WWF Girls camps, which we do pretty much every month with a few exceptions throughout the year to help grow women's wrestling and develop our Wisconsin girls into the better wrestlers that they want to be. Today we're going to focus a little bit on being in good position on our feet, blocking shots and re-attacking, fighting for the right ties, making sure we're in good position so when our opponents do shoot, we're in better position to stop that shot and re-attack. And what we do with our camps is we're always going to start with the foundation of basic fundamentals and the core skill development, but to make it specific to Wisconsin wrestling, the coaching staff does a great job of going to tournaments and taking notes on maybe positions or areas where collectively we maybe need to spend some emphasis or more time developing other skill sets. So we, to a group extent, we individualize it beyond just the basic positions to give the girls what they need at our camps that maybe help fill in the pieces of the puzzle that are needed. Our clubs and our high school teams are doing a great job, and then we let them do what they're going to do, and then we fill in some of the gaps as best we can. Yeah, well, you hear the phrase a lot, wrestling is wrestling. So from one age group, from the youth to the senior level, wrestling is wrestling, and the basic fundamentals and the foundation of proper positioning never changes. So you might have much more emphasis on coaching those basic fundamentals and good position and knowing, hopefully eventually intuitively, where you should be or where you shouldn't be. And you're always coaching those. That never disappears. But once you get up to the senior level, like my returning from coaching at the World Championships, at that level, you're still going to emphasize good position, but you're going to be fine-tuning position and specific little nuances and technique, and it may be more individualized to each wrestler's style and what their bread and butter is, but it basically never changes. Wrestling is wrestling. The basic foundation and fundamentals should be the same from youth through the senior level, and it's just a matter of learning and grinding and getting better at it and helping each wrestler achieve what the best potential is.
Even if I don't do anything with my arm, I just change my level. That feels like I'm going to attack. Okay? So really good level changes to fake. If she leaves that leg right after my fake, I can go fake. If she takes that leg back, I can go to my single leg on the other side. If she brings that leg back, I can go to a pull over front headlock. Good fake, whether it's a fake for a shot or a fake snap to get to your shot. A good fake, then hit a second attack from there. Questions? 1, 2, 3. Now wait, so, like, you try to say, more, right?
Let's see some wrestling.
Single, pressure head with our leg. Going for near side traction. Pulling it over her head. Catching her leg in our armpit. And covering. Alright? On two, 1, 2.
Make sure you're using that leg to hold the head down.
I make sure to pressure in my knee on top of her shoulder. I'm pulling her forward, jumping off to the same side, kicking that arm as that kick. I'm also pulling this foot back. So I'm kicking with this foot and pulling with this foot. And
I can start with my other hand, pop it down, get heavy on his head. Okay, getting my laces flat, getting ready to sprawl back. The thing that needs to change though is I need to have a tight race with this arm to keep him from cracking me down. If I'm not doing anything to control this hip, and I just stuff his head down and get my laces flat, he's going to circle that way and we're going to end up in a pretty good position for him. So I've got to do something to keep him from circling. So stuffing his head, getting my laces flat, reverse tight race right here and just pressure that way to keep him from getting it. Then I can get my laces flat and start sliding back. Sometimes I'll be able to come all the way where I can break the grip, come into that ankle. When it's a high crop and his head's outside, go ahead, keep him off. Sometimes we can go and just kind of grab the shoulder, drag, to pull ourselves around, or it's a good spot to be for our process of 2, which we're going to do a little bit later. But I've got to do something to make sure this hip doesn't come in and crack me out. Stuffing his head, getting to a tight waist here. Then I can really kind of travel towards his head as well, right? Getting this flat, circling that way, getting extended, coming around this corner.
I'm Nasa Bianchi. I'm the women's director for the WWF.
Nasa, we are at camp number 3. It is the final camp in our series before the folk style season gets underway here in Wisconsin. What are some recommendations you have for the girls continuing to come to camp during their season?
Well, one of the challenges we have in women's wrestling is that the biggest thing that happens, the World Team Trials, happens right in April, which is kind of backwards. That's the biggest thing we have, and it happens right after folk style season ends. Really hard for you to train for a month at a high level in order to make the World Team. Impossible. So we have these touchstones throughout the season where we can all get together and work on the things that we as a coaching staff have decided that we probably need to clean up from last year into this year to put you in a good position to get to your highest levels that you need to be so that you can go to the World Team Trials and get to where you want to get.
As we're moving through this series and we're working on things you guys have identified over the course of the last year, where are you going to be looking to observe these improvements along the way with these athletes?
Well, we make sure that we keep tabs on them. A lot of the higher level athletes go to the college opens, so they insert some freestyle opportunities, which is allowed by the WIAA. You can do 2 during the folk style season. So a lot of the higher level athletes that we have trying to make a world team actually insert those competitions. So we make sure that we watch those as coaches and find other things that either we're doing well or things that we need to clean up so that we can hit those in March before World Team Trials.
Having been in wrestling such a long time, you know that the skills are translatable across styles. How would you encourage somebody who may be specifically focused on folk style to get their start in freestyle and encourage them toward the translatability of the skills?
Well, as long as they're wrestling folk style, wrestling is wrestling, right? So we do a lot of the same things on our feet in freestyle than we do in folk style. But one of the biggest things that you need to work on is the transition from the takedown to the turn, which is totally different than how you do it in folk style. So that is the first thing that I would work on. And then I would find someone once a week to work with on my turns, on my laces and my guts, and any other kind of turn you can create in your transition from the feet to the mat.
Thank you so much.
She is shooting a single leg with this leg, a high crotch to this leg. If I start going left, she can still get to her single, right? If I start circling left, she can still get to her high crotch. If I circle the opposite way, if I circle to my right, if I circle towards her back leg, okay? If I start circling this way, her single leg that way goes away a little, right? Her angle on her high crotch goes away a little. So if we are someone who likes to kind of circle while we're in our stance or circle to ice a match, make sure we're circling towards their back leg, okay? If I circle this way on her, she's still shooting on me. She's still going. If I circle this way, watch what it does to that ankle. We're either of the shot, right? Single leg side going away, high crotch side gets to a bad angle. So, late in the match, okay, if we're going to control an wrist, it's here on her lead leg side, not here where she can still sweep, okay? If we're going to circle, it's here towards her back leg. That's taking the shot away, not circling towards her lead leg where both shots are still. Okay.